Well, what a sight to behold. Look at this vast army. You got the trees in the background. You got, like, I don't know if it's morning or evening, but man. What is up, guys? My name is Kingston, and today we have a 3v3 on in NTW3 battle. This is a Lundy's Lane, so I believe this is an American battle. Obviously not historical. We have 3 French armies, a 10-point España, a 6-point, and another 10-point España, interesting enough. They're going up against a Austria, Sweden, and Spain. I do believe Spain and Austria are 10-pointers, and I think... I can't remember if Sweden is what they are. Maybe they're a 6-point. To kind of match this 6-point here. I actually may have started the battle too soon here. I'm going to fast forward here a little bit here as we talk about the map a little bit. So obviously there are quite a lot of trees. And there's this big hill here. Okay, so we're seeing some Austrian cavalry that just saw the masses of chasseurs cheval and dragoons. Looks like we got 2 chasseurs cheval. No, 1 chasseur cheval in. Oh wow. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna play here because we have a lot of cav appearing out of the woodwork here. We got chevaliers, hussars for Austria, and then more chevaliers, and they are squaring up against 3 dragoons of France, 1 small chasseur cheval unit, and then 1 chasseur cheval in the woods. But here we go. We got dragoons going in against chevaliers along the entire flank. A huge cav clash here. Now, the one problem I see is that these dragoons got flanked here. Actually, they may have... Okay,
our men are running, sir.
Back charging your dragoons. I don't know if that's what happened here. These dragoons going in, but you can see the chevaliers definitely caught the French dragoons out and are going to break them. So France is looking like they're not doing too hot here. We have more dragoons charging in. France may win this side here. Ooh, artillery is firing. May actually get a good shot off here. But these dragoons are making some headway here. Now, I'm going to talk in a second about... Oh, we have an Austrian general pushing up to support this fight here. Austria's losing on this side. Infantry actually moving up to support this fight. Oh, but here we go. We got some more hussars going against that dragoon unit. We have infantry firing in, the infantry support being super crucial, but France may lose a lot of their cavalry here. We'll see. Looks like those dragoons and chasseurs cheval broke the right flank of Austria, and Austria just lost all their cav. So while they retreat and reform here, artillery has set up that was really, really smart.
The men are fatigued, sir, and must rest.
I'm going to talk about why I don't usually now, based on advice I've been given and how I've seen it happen. Why do you not engage a huge cav fight in the beginning? Well, this is why. Austria has lost all of their cavalry. It's a huge gamble, and now look what is unsupported. Their artillery is moving up all by itself. I guarantee you these chasseurs cheval are going to chase down a general here. And now Austria has no cavalry whatsoever. Their allies are actually going to have to shift cav over to support this side. And Austria just lost their general. That is hugely unfortunate. But it's better to use your cav against infantry than it is to... Oh man, now Austria is just totally, really, really gypped here. They're going to get just toasted. Their artillery is going to die. And Austria has lost their artillery and their general and their cav. They may have, yes, they may have the hill.
Our men are running, sir.
But that's about it. And that would be a good exchange for such a cheap chasseur cheval unit. But now Austria doesn't have cav to defend their infantry. Their infantry are unsupported. Artillery, well, they don't have artillery anymore. Their general is gone, probably dead. And yeah, guys, that's why. You can't afford to commit all your cav into a cav fight. And honestly, using your cav against other cav, I think, is a waste. You want to use your cav against infantry, and you want their cav, or enemy cav, to be used against your infantry. And if you can defeat all their cav, with your infantry and save your cav for their infantry to defeat it. That's a victory, in my opinion. Now, Austria is still going to be a force to be reckoned with. They have some cavalry support of Sweden. That explanation took way too long. I'm sorry, guys. They do have some cav. Looks like they have some heavies here. Austria is going to start just advancing, interestingly enough. They haven't stopped moving yet to fire. I don't know. What is Austria doing here? Why are you letting them just get free kills? So France still's got to be careful here. España needs to be careful because Austria can start really, really hurting them rather quickly. Now Austria needs to watch out for that chasseur cheval behind. They are going to probably try to just exert their infantry numbers, that heavy mass. These guys are really small units. I would fall them back. These are lights. The lights you need on the flank. You don't want them taking hits. You want them on the flank with their good reloading skill. We have... Ooh. So, France being very aggressive here. You can see Spain and Sweden haven't really made it up as close here. Yeah, France is going to have to fall back. They probably took some heavy losses. And they have cav, they have artillery, so I think France is very, very good. They look like they are going to do very well in this fight. The rest of Sweden looks like they're just shifting down this road here. Spain looks like they are going to fight against the 6-pointer, but the 6-pointer has a 10-pointer in support with cavalry in the way back to defend their artillery. Very wise. Don't leave your artillery alone. But yeah, Austria is not losing yet. The combat, like the infantry fight yet. They are not losing. They may, if the cavalry of France gets involved.
Sir, our general is under attack.
He's probably just getting shot here. Now, the one nice thing is Austria does not have cannons to support their fight. And España has beefy units, but also not so beefy of units. They are exchanging. If France is going to try to go diagonal, maybe put a lot of pressure, maybe they can 2v1 Austria. Looks like that's what they're going to try to do here, and let maybe this 10-point España take on Spain. While Sweden, because Sweden is shifting over here. They're going to try to control this hill. If France can cut them off, which it looks like that's what France is trying to do here, that could be a huge point here. If they can surround Austria. Now, Austria is deploying their reserves. The one problem with that is that their reserves cannot be supporting this line anymore. We do see France getting up reserve lines of infantry and pushing up some cavalry. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They are not getting away fast enough. Oh. Oh, no. Austria just started shooting Sweden. Sweden has plenty of troops to stop this gap. The one thing is Spain needs to do is make sure they don't get separated here. But it looks like Sweden's going to be support. Spain's going to hold left. Austria's going to hold right. Now, the one thing that you really have to be careful for as this 6-pointer is, I know they're trying to put a lot of pressure, but they don't have a lot here. And Austria could easily, with Sweden in conjunction, just pincer and just squeeze these guys and just surround them, cause of heavy losses, because once they get surrounded, they'll have to march back. And as you're marching back, they will be getting shot at. You can see Austria is already hitting that flank. Spain actually may have to really put some pressure on Austria right now just to save this. Yeah, he's fallen back, thankfully, before he's going to take too heavy of losses, but still, that could have been really dangerous for a second. But they read the map. They read the room, as it were, and they got out of there in time. Now, France has the luxury of being able to sit back and fire. The one thing with 9.1, though, if your artillery is not on a hill and in the flat plains, it actually is less accurate. So that's the one disadvantage we have here. Artillery won't do as well as if it was on a hill here. You can see, like, it's kind of killing one or two at a time. It'll take a while. They're having a flank here, but Austria is a 10-pointer. Keep that in mind. They have plenty of troops here. And now with Sweden advancing, France is going to have to just... They got to send some troops over. I don't know where the rest of the 6-pointer is, but 6-point France should shift all their troops over to hold this left side, the center. Because if Sweden punches through, you are dead. You can see actually they are having to reorganize because this is a very coordinated fight. I do like to see France has lines upon lines of reserves here. That's a better view there. And they're forming up. They may have a flank here. Spain is actually going to hold a small portion here. They have the artillery for Sweden and Spain set up. They have skirmishers all on their own. Not advisable unless you don't see enemy cav, but how do you know that France doesn't have cav sitting here that's going to charge up? But they probably are just trying to harass a little bit. It's a gamble. Maybe they have spikes they can set up. But they're going to try to harass the French. Also, they can see with, they can spot with skirmishers a little easier, so they'll be able to get a good spot. They probably don't have a lot of cav. Austria has pushed up here. France's artillery honestly doesn't have the greatest angle. I would rearrange it, and actually I would shift this cannon up here. I would shift it right up here, at least have an angle down the line. Or I would shift it into the center. It's a what is it, an F6? It can move pretty fast. Shift it into the center, help support the center. Your flank is not going to be in danger. Sweden is massing, and France is actually falling back a little bit themselves here. You can see to this high ground. They probably want to have a strong position to defend. They have an LOC. They have some troops, some grenadiers in here. 63 men, so most of them are going to be able to fit in the LOC. Just watch out because they may start shelling this LOC. Oh, wow. España is getting hit hard by artillery. You can see the losses all from artillery already. Not a very great thing to see without even having fought. And look at this, Austria doing well here. These guys, 18 men left. Officer somehow still alive. Oh, there's 17 men. He needs to, yeah, these lights need to fall back. They have not taken the hill yet, so Austria is being very smart. They're pressuring one side and holding a reserve on the other side by this LOC using the hill. Sweden is wisely putting their cav to defend and not being aggressive. Notice if you don't have a lot of cav, don't push your cav out. Leave them defensively, because then France or whoever it is that you're fighting against, if you say you're Sweden, you're just being defensive. You're just supporting the infantry. You aren't trying to go out and fight the cav. You want to make sure that if France tries to commit to infantry, the most deadly thing you can have if you have cavalry and you're attacking is an infantry cav support. If you see the infantry and cavalry together, in like France here, should not try to attack this, because squares will be formed, you will hit a square, and the cav will countercharge you once you have that shock to your morale as a French cav unit, and then that cav will just clean you up without taking heavy losses. Now it looks like Spain and Sweden are pushing up here, which is why España is going to be shifting over, trying to hold this center possibly. They need to watch out for this unit. They don't want to give us LOC. I'm sure that's why they're leaving troops here. But they could get outflanked because there's nothing covering this flank. Spain, not España, Spain could actually shift infantry right here and start firing on the flank and really telling a lot of units could fire at one and whittle those numbers down fast. You can see now the artillery superiority that Spain and Sweden have is forcing the cavalry of France to stay way in the back here. They cannot move up or else they will get shredded by artillery. And I don't see a lot of artillery for France. It's way in the back, and they're probably worried about trying to set it up here. But Spain has a beautiful position here. I like this. They have an angle, and see how fast they're actually starting to whittle this unit down. All these troops here, guys, are firing on this one unit. Fight smarter, not harder. Now, Spain was advancing here. They have cavalry support. This may be where France can actually use their cav because it's far enough away from their artillery support. And Spain's cavalry is awful. Like, really awful. They're going to push out there. They are still not really pressured this hill just because it is going to be tough. They could pressure it. Their artillery is going to try what they can, but like I said, a hill, make it really tough to actually get some good artillery hits. What it looks like maybe the beautiful flank to hit would be this right flank. You have a 6-point France pushing up here. Spain is kind of stuck in two places at once. Advance, who cares about a little artillery? This artillery right here actually may not be able to support it as well. Just the Spanish artillery will. But Spain looks pretty weak, so you can see they are pushing up. And they're going to pressure and force Spain to possibly have to push out here and use half the army to fight one army. Not a bad strategy here. I also would like... This could be a excellent place to attack as well. There are angles, especially as they're pushing up. I heard a unit breaking. Who's breaking? See, yeah, they broke. See, Spain is really getting smart here and focusing a lot of troops here. But with Sweden pushing up here, guys, France could angle themselves right here. Just right here, and all those units be firing right at this one Swedish unit. Sweden should not be pushing right here, I think. They should be holding back here. They are winning right here with Spain. Don't do anything else. I mean, Spain's about to have some struggles of their own, as their units are going to be attacked by an entire army. And they have 5 units here. Some reserves, some artillery that can help support this attack. And they are getting some good shots. But, oh, actually, France is starting to really take some losses here. France needs to really start pressuring Sweden. Sweden's wisely falling back. Over here, we just have, like, it's just a back and forth kind of thing. Both sides not really wanting to get in it. They're just trying to, it's a maneuverable, it's a battle of maneuvering right here. Oh, it looks like we may have France engaging the Austrians here. Both sides seem very experienced. They are actually, it looks like they're moving them in groups of like 3 or 4, which is how you should move your lines. They have a group here, they have 2 here. Spain has like 4 here, probably 4 here. You can see Austria has like a group of 3, you know, 1 and 1, and then a group of 2 reserves. Both sides, that's how you want to move your infantry. You want them in like groups. Like I've said before, 2 to 3 to 4 at a time. Now, this isn't a bad idea to have one long line. You have your reserves, but once you actually get into combat, you're probably going to want to start breaking them off into your groupings. Oh man, France is gonna... Oh, they have Bavarians too, but they are getting hit hard by that artillery from all this artillery here. Now, oh man, that's gonna be rough. They can do it. I have faith. I have faith in France. The one thing I've said before, guys, and you could see it in my live stream yesterday, France will excel in melee. You just gotta close that gap and start melee. I was stupid yesterday and let France get way too close. I was Prussia. I was playing as Prussia, and they just meleeed me. I brought Grenz and all that, but anyway, I'm getting sidetracked here. France wants to close in, though. You stand in a line fight, you can see they are losing. Spain is winning here. They're doing very well. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. France is just getting shredded, taking such heavy losses. Oh, 2 units broke. Their reserves are now going to be thrown up. But they have broken way more than... Oh, man. They're breaking really fast, guys. Like, France is mass routing here. Where's the general? The general needs to get up here and start inspiring his men, because look at this chain route. It's starting to... It's like 1, 2, 3 units. This unit is wavering. The coalition are doing very well because they're able to just stand and shoot. If you like standing and shooting armies, coalition's for you. If you like closing in those beautiful, gorgeous assault columns, getting in a melee, and then doing some shooting, of course, too, France is the way to go. That's why I tried playing France, because I'm not good with closing in and getting into melee. That's something I need to get better at. Now, we do have France. Some of the units have come back, but wavering units still. They are throwing in fresh reserves, but France is burning through their reserves. This unit's going to break. Any second now, they're gonna break. Also, don't string your line up so much. Bunch them up into a column. You do spaghetti lines. 2 things happen. 1, your morale is worse. 2, actually you take less hits.
Our men are
with
running,
a bunched up column like this. You actually take less hits. I don't know why it is. And also, when you have this long line, your men actually just keep forming up in the 2 lines, more units, and they don't ever fire. Austria has actually had some losses here. They're shifting at reserves, so at least they're burning through one of the units here. And Sweden looks like they actually taken some losses, but France is breaking way faster. And you can see here, Spain doing pretty well. Spain's doing pretty well. They have forced the French to advance quite a lot, and they're actually getting the first volleys off here. And they have a lot of cav shifting over. Keep in mind, it is Spanish cav, so it's not the greatest, but they have it over here. Yeah, Spain just thick units. They are doing very well. Very, 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 very well. France's units are coming back, guys. That is one thing, but they are depleted. They are tired, because shooting does cause your men to see their active down. All they have to do is shooting. But Spain can take this. And now France is going to fall back. This artillery here is just focusing down this side, and they are taking losses. Over here, Spain doing very well, I would say. They're able to keep closing that gap. I don't know why they're falling back. Maybe because of the flank with cav support and reserves. So 6-point France could actually do pretty well here. High roll. They could actually make a change. If they can crush this flank, they can swing around and cave in, but they're going so far away from the rest of the fight. And guys, this is a 3v3, but it's still huge. Okay, so we have some Swedish units on the flank here, interesting enough. Because Austria, I think, wants to shift over here. It looks like France is starting to fight for this hill. They have their general up in the front, Soult. He's assaulting the hill. Sorry. Alright, so we have some Swiss. I love the Swiss. Oh, look at this combat gen. How is he still alive? Oh, those reserves. Oh, wow. They had some breaking. France just keeps pouring in the troops, and they keep losing troops. Just taking those losses. France is making a big push here, though. They're actually forcing the coalition into like a, almost like a U shape. See? Like a boat. It's the boat formation. Most commonly seen. Oh, okay, hold on. We may have. This cav needs to shift up. Sweden is in 2 places at once. We may have an aggressive push here. Now, this French unit needs to be cautious. Very cautious. They're going to get volleyed. It's a thick unit, 110 men. But here we go. That cav moving with the infantry. I bet you they're going to bayonet charge. They're going to cav charge, force them into square, then bayonet charge. Here we go. So coordinated. Hopefully nothing else is happening elsewhere. Oh, are they going to go in for the line? Sweden. Sweden, what are you doing? Form your squares. Oh, they did. They formed their square, and that's going to hurt this Dragoon unit. And now, this is what I'm talking about, guys. They didn't even need the cavalry charge in here, but now... Okay, let's check over here. What's happening? What's happening? Do we have some cavalry charging in here against the Spain units? I almost said the Spanish. The Spanish. And Spain can't really form squares usually, so they're going to try to charge in here. Yep, they can't form square, but watch out, they will... Oh, no. Okay, they still made a charge in with those Dragoons, but they may still break. We got a lot of unit cav not supporting this center. In the center of Spain's kind of starting to break. Oh, a huge charge here. We have a square possibly that Sweden formed, so watch out. Yep. France is not able to really coordinate too well. Sweden has so many squares, guys. They're a discount UK. And they need to watch out. They're going to get volleyed here. Oh, wow. Okay. They're going to lose troops running back through that square. And you can see that they are trying to form squares here. Watch out. You're going to get charged. Sweden's going to charge in and hit your guys. Now they're going to try to crush this flank of Sweden. At the same time, over here, there is a huge cav fight. It looks like France went in with the bayonets as well. Spain's going to try to regain it. Now, Spain is not going to do well in a melee, which is why France is closing in here. But France needs to be very cautious. There's a lot of cavs shifting over. That can shift over. Too much happening at once. Over
Our
here.
men are running, sir.
This line's still wavering, but France running out of cav. And the Swedish cavalry is hitting this line infantry that's not able to form square. Now there's the reserve here. Can't form square though, so hopefully they can get a volley off. Just be careful you don't shoot your infantry in the back. But Austria is having some problems here as France is closing in, getting that sweet melee, but watch out for the Austrian reserve, gonna pour in a volley. Or on this side, it's looking a little messy for France. Or not for France, for Austria. Oh my gosh, not Austria, Spain. Spain and Sweden. Sweden, though, sending in their line infantry and their cav. What the coalition needs to do is just stay away from France. Stay away from them. Over here, France is able maybe to make some moves because Austria is crumbling, and Sweden and Spain are multitasking here. But you can see France closing in for melee. They can start really crumbling this Austrian line. Yeah, because Austria is going to do awful in melee. You can see what's happened so far. They've broken a lot. They could lose this hill and France can start caving the flank because they need to do something here. Spain actually is countercharging with some cavalry, so France has got to be very, very careful here. Spain managed to move their troops away from France. They're going to still be able to fight here. I still see some skirmishers, some line infantry here. Oh, the general, Jean-Baptiste, is watching us and get volleyed here. Spain has cavalry now charging. Oh no, the flank of this French line. Now they are in some bad morale shape.
Our men are running, sir.
Alright, what's happening? I'm sorry guys, trying to catch everything here. Austria is continuing to mass rout just because they cannot melee. And here we go, a square got formed and now bayonet charge into it. I don't know what kind of quality of Swedish line infantry this is, but this hill looks like it's falling apart here. And Austria is going to start really taking losses. They need to fall all the way back. In fact, I would tell the whole Swedish line to fall back before they get caught out. Spain has managed to hold this line together. They're actually inflicting losses on 6-point Tyrol, France Tyrol. Spain needs to move back behind this LOC, if that's an LOC. Although they actually are inflicting heavy losses on France. Spain has managed to fall back the rest of the units. Sweden needs to because Austria, poor Austria is about... Oh, these are grenadiers. These guys are probably exhausted or very tired at least. You're not going to do too hot against grenadiers. And there are reserves. Austria has their reserves. With that grenadier charging in here.
The men are fatigued, sir, and must rest a while.
But yeah, Austria just is crumbling here. Look at that. And Sweden's going to start crumbling here. That artillery is about to be lost. Yeah. Poor Austria. They just crumbled. They just folded in. And Sweden's now going to have to fall back. We do have that cav charging in, getting that artillery piece finally. France is, wow, getting piecemealed, guys. Piecemealed. Look at this. They are just crumbling. Just because this cav, they're breaking a lot of Spanish cav, but Spain is still really, really hurting them. But it's looking a little better for France. I'm not going to lie. It's looking a lot better for France. Austria... So the one thing that France needs to do now...
We've taken the buildings up. They
need to stop for a second. They need to rest their troops. Because they're going to start taking losses here. Sweden in a very good cav charge. Trying to save Austria's line here. And I think it actually may stop because you can see they actually... made them stop, form some squares, and they're gonna get their cav out of there and their artillery piece too. May not be enough though. Austria is still gonna take some losses. These guys are just active, so they're gonna break Austria easily here. But the rest of Spain and Sweden actually managed to get away. Austria may crumble, but Spain and Sweden will form up. Now, Spain is just gone now. Those bayonet charges
men
along
of
with the cav
fatigue, sir,
charges
and
just
must
did
rest
not work too well. Like I said, guys, Spain is not your melee-capable faction. They are very good at shooting, which you saw how well Spain did in the center here against France, shooting-wise. Austria the same. Austria's a very good shooting faction, not a good melee faction. You want Russia for melee. That's why if you see, for instance, if you're playing the coalition, you see units taken, you know, very good shooting factions but not melee, you may want to consider taking a melee good faction. Or you may have to change your tactics, which, you know, literally did that. Oh, wow. You see how good Austria did right before the French charged.
Our men are running,
and
sir.
just crumbled and folded that French unit, but they're going to get hit in the flank here. The one thing is, France is tired. They are very tired. I'm sure Austria is too. And I'm sure the rest of the coalition armies are too. This is a falling back strategy now. They're going to need to fall back quite a bit. This is the only part of the coalition that remains now. But what a final turntables. Using the hill basically to start getting up and then just running along the hill. That's what France did. They hit up here and then they just ran along. Because obviously a frontal assault against Austria would not have done well. As you're running up to them, you would have just gotten shot to pieces. Would not have worked very well for you. Alright, so we have some more Chevaliers, Westphalian Chevaliers, maybe pushing up here to getting met by Swedish Cav. Spain is still a dangerous foe. Now, their flank is about to get folded by France. All of France, España on this hill is pretty weak. Their units are depleted and their units are tired. So the one thing is, yeah, they're exhausted, winded. There's a couple fresh units, but you're not going to be able to run up fast enough to the coalition. To melee them, you need to rest up first, and quite honestly, Spain should not be advancing here. They should be trying to close, like not close, get away from France as quickly as possible. So as to be able to just do a lot more shooting. But maybe while this French unit is resting, maybe they're trying to put some pressure on France, maybe break them, because they can shoot very well. That may be what they're doing. They know they may have a limited amount of time, because you know that once a unit's in melee, you know, they can only do melee so long before they get exhausted. Maybe that's what Sweden's doing as well. They may have fresh units, and they're going to try to outshoot, because when you're exhausted, your troops are exhausted, they don't shoot as well. Their accuracy is awful. You can see they're dropping, so he's actually falling back. But if his units are exhausted, that's why the reserves are coming up. Fresh reserves, there you go. They're sending those reserves over probably to reinforce this side and reignite this fight, because France is going to start losing here. Artillery has formed up, some 8-pounders. But France is starting to have some breaking along the line. So Spain actually very wise. They pushed up and are just crumbling the French in front of them. So, you know, they obviously know their stuff better than me, because I would not have pushed up, and it would have worked out well. But artillery, though, is going to help. France's artillery is going to help if they do some canister. Oh, you can see, yeah, taking some heavy shocks to the morale for Spain. They should focus on this small unit. They can break them really fast with artillery. I would right-click right behind this unit. Canister if you can. It's an 8-pounder. But right now, the artillery of France is going to start really helping this fight. And they outnumber the coalition. And they have a flank. So, yeah, France is going to win this one. Just they have the artillery. Spain can't combat this. And there's cav support. We have some cuirassiers. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Clearing a space. It always gets me excited when I see this. Send these grenadiers after. Wow. What can I just say for a second? Look at these grenades. Gotta be some of the most nice looking grenades you've ever seen. Love the big overcoats. Yep, these cuirassiers are pushing up, and Spain probably knows it. Here we go. You have the cav charge. And they're gonna smash into the Spanish line. Oh, what? Oh, they hit a square, that's why. They're about to break. But that's when you follow it with infantry, guys. You have to follow this up with infantry. You have to. These grenadiers should have been following up immediately. And Spain is crumbling. So it'll be alright. It's gonna be the finishing blow here. They're gonna get those crosshairs out of there. I would have sent the grenadiers in behind to then start bayonet charging, because Spain's gonna still be sitting here shooting. Although they are breaking pretty fast. And Lundy's Lane is about to be a French victory. I'll be a very hard fought one. Like I said, the only things that obviously I think the downfall was this flank, which I mean it happened very quickly, and that's the thing about NCW3. It may feel like it's a long battle, but it happened so fast. Like they happened so fast. You saw it in like a minute or two, charging up here and crumbling the Austrian line. Then we took a couple more minutes for the rest of it to crumble. But all the maneuvering to get up to it can take minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes just to do that. We have a bayonet charge here. Oh, they're not going to make it. Look at that. This is probably elite. It's like Sea Guard. Lifeguard, I think it's called, actually. Maybe they'll break, though. Their morale's probably shaky. They have a mass rout on their hands with units around them running, so they probably won't hold. Crosshairs going in against that square.
Our men are running for it.
Wow. That is just... These guys are so realistic in these games. And that should be the battle. That's just cool. Alright, there's only a couple units left here. They're just over here. I'm gonna fast forward. Just Austria sending up a couple units. They're gonna get hit by artillery and probably break pretty fast. That was a tough one, I think, for the French to assault at first. Like I said, this hill was definitely a place. Austria, imagine if Austria had not lost so much cav over here in the very beginning. They would have been able to defend when France did all those bayonet charges. They could have defended and done really well. Now, I believe this one was sent in by Philip, I think. Or it's Jorf, I don't know. It was one of the Spanias, so thank you for that. Yeah. Very, very good. Very good. 11600. See, they didn't even kill that many, but they probably did a lot of mass routing and then rushed forward. So, enemies killed 814,000, and then, man, Spain. That's from all the Palestinian shooting probably in the center with the other España, France España. So, well, that's about it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Won't be another video till Wednesday, but I will catch up on the replays you guys are sending in. You guys sending in a lot. I really appreciate it. If it takes a little while, that's just, you know, life happening. So I do appreciate it, though. Thank you guys so much for your support, and keep it up. You guys all stay safe. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you all in another video.